Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever been up against a challenge that just felt impossible? One of those moments where fear starts to creep in and you feel totally stuck? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to dive deep into how to build that mental strength, that grit, to not just get through those moments, but to actually grow from them. So, let's get into it. Now, this is all part of a bigger journey we're on together in the course, Lead with Grounded Confidence. So if you're just joining us, a huge welcome to you. And for everyone who's been following along, it's great to have you back as we keep building on these essential leadership skills. All right, welcome to Lesson 4. We're going to talk about resilience, but maybe not in the way you're used to. See, we often think of it as just some trait you're either born with or you're not. But that's not it at all. Resilience is a skill. It's a foundational skill for any leader, period. And for anyone really serious about building out that leadership toolkit, especially in business and tech, there are some amazing resources out there, like the academies over at bVentured.com, that can really help you level up. So, what's the game plan for today? Well, we've got a really clear path laid out. First, we'll get a handle on what resilience and fear really are and how they're connected. Then we're going to get super practical with a whole toolkit of strategies you can start using right away. After that, we'll talk about how to turn that fear into real, meaningful action. And finally, we'll wrap it all up and talk about what's next on your journey. Okay, first things first, let's really dig into resilience and fear. You might think of them as opposites, right? But they're actually two sides of the very same coin. You can't truly build up your resilience without first understanding and even embracing your fear. So what exactly is resilience? It's not about being tough as nails and never getting knocked down. Not at all. It's about being flexible. Think about a bamboo plant in a storm. It bends, it sways, but it doesn't snap. That's resilience. And the absolute best part? It is a skill. It's something you can practice and get better at, I promise. And what does a resilient person look like? Well, they usually have these 4 things going for them. Adaptability is their superpower for dealing with change. Emotional awareness is like their internal GPS. They have solid problem-solving skills to figure a way out. And, crucially, they have strong social networks, people they can lean on. These aren't separate traits. They all work together. Let's make this real for a second. Take a moment and think about a tough situation you faced recently. Which one of these characteristics did you find yourself using the most? Was it your ability to adapt on the fly? Or maybe your knack for solving problems? Just take a second to reflect on that. But here's the kicker. The only way to actually get stronger, to build that resilience, is by walking straight through the thing that scares you. It's not about pretending fear doesn't exist. It's about learning how to work with it. That's where the real magic happens. Not all fear is the same. There's situational fear. That's the fear of a specific thing, like giving a big presentation. It's usually tied to what other people might think. Then there's existential fear. This one's bigger, vaguer. It's the fear of the unknown, of failing in a big way. Knowing which one you're dealing with is the first step to actually managing. Okay, so we've looked at the what and the why. Now let's get to the how. It's time to roll up our sleeves and build your practical toolkit with some concrete strategies to boost your resilience. We're going to break this down into 3 core pillars. Think of it like building a sturdy structure. The first pillar is your mindset. The second is having solid coping mechanisms. And the third, which is so important, is building supportive relationships. Let's look at each one. Let's start with your mindset, because honestly, everything flows from here. The way you talk to yourself, the stories you believe, that's the foundation of it all. It's the difference between seeing a roadblock as a dead end versus seeing it as just a detour. Just look at this simple shift in language. Instead of thinking, I can't handle this, you reframe it as, this is a challenge and I can learn from it. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about finding the opportunity for growth in every tough spot. Pair that with a little gratitude practice, and you've got a powerful combination. All right, pillar number 2, let's talk about your emotional toolkit, the stuff you can do in the heat of the moment when you feel that stress or anxiety bubbling up. These are the practical, tangible things that help you stay centered when things get chaotic. So what's in this toolkit? Well, things like mindfulness and meditation are huge. They help anchor you in the present moment. And don't underestimate physical activity. A little yoga, a quick walk, anything to get your body moving can work wonders for your emotional state. So here's a little challenge for you. What's one new thing you could try this week? Just one. Maybe it's a 5-minute guided meditation in the morning or a quick walk during your lunch break. The goal here isn't to be perfect, it's just to try something new. And that brings us to our third and final pillar,
building supportive relationships. Look, resilience is not a solo sport. We are wired for connection. The strength we get from the people around us is absolutely essential for weathering life's storms.
So how do you strengthen that network? Two big ways. First, seek out mentorship. Find people who've walked the path before you. And second, foster open communication with your friends, family, and colleagues. Create spaces where it's safe to be vulnerable. That's where real connection and real resilience is built.
Okay, we've got our mindset in check, we've got our coping tools, and we've got our support system. Now how do we actually put it all together to move from being frozen by fear to taking real concrete action? It's a simple 3-step process.
Think about it like learning to swim. You wouldn't just jump into the deep end, right? First, you have to acknowledge your fear. You name it, step 1. Then you start small, in the shallow end. That's gradual exposure, step 2. And finally, you set realistic goals like swimming to the ladder. That's step 3. These small wins build massive confidence over time.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? We've gone from understanding fear to building a real plan for resilience. So let's just take a quick look back at what we learned and figure out where to go from here.
So, what are the big takeaways? Number 1, resilience is a skill, not a trait. You can build it. 2, you have to understand your fear before you can overcome it. 3, your mindset, your coping tools, and your relationships are your 3 pillars of strength. And 4, there's a clear 3-step process to turn that fear into action.
And your journey is far from over. Now that you're building this amazing foundation of resilience for yourself, the next step is to project that confidence outward. So in our next lesson, Lesson 5, we're going to dive into effective communication and learn how to inspire that same confidence in the people around you.
To help all of this really sink in, I've put together a quiz, some lesson notes, and a cool little infographic for you. You can find all of that in the link below this video and also over at bVentured.com. Thanks so much for being here with me today. Keep up the great work, and I can't wait to see you in Lesson 5.